Good morning to everybody. In the previous class, we have seen what is sentence, what is subject, and what is the object. In today's class, we shall deal about what is object and what is direct and indirect object. So let's start the class. Now let's see what is object. When the verb in the predicate is a transitive verb. What do you mean by transitive verb? Transitive verb means when an action is done by the verb, that action is carried to the object or the object receives the action. Then that is called as a transitive verb. I repeat once again, transitive verb means when an action is done, the action of the verb is received by the object. That is called as transitive verb. Now, it requires an object to complete its meaning. Now, for example, when we say he throws, he is the subject, throws is the verb. It does not make complete sense because the verb throws requires an object such as a ball. Now see here the sentence, he throws a ball. What is he throwing? A ball. And the ball is receiving the action. So that is object. Now the object is ball. He is the subject, throws is the verb, ball is the object. If we talk in terms of subject and predicate, he becomes the subject, throws a ball becomes the predicate. But in the predicate, we have an object and the object is receiving the action. Now, here he throws a ball. It is making a complete sense. Similarly, I sing a song. What do I do? I sing a song. Immediately we can ask a question like what to the verb. What do I do? I sing a song. Song becomes the object. Similarly, we should learn painting. What should I learn? Painting. Painting becomes the object. Painting becomes the object. So, sentence consists subject, predicate, and in the predicate, it also contains a object. Object is someone who is receiving the action. Subject is someone who is doing the action. That action must be received by the object. Okay, right. Let's go further. Now, direct and indirect object. Sometimes we'll be having in a sentence, there will be two. There will be two objects. One is direct object, one is indirect object. Now let's see this particular sentence. The teacher gave sweets to the children. The teacher gave sweets to the children. If we talk about this sentence, the teacher, this becomes the subject, gave becomes the verb, sweets becomes the object, and to the children. Let's see what it is actually. Okay. Now, gave is the verb because it is doing the action. Similarly, sweets becomes the object. What did, when we have to put a question, okay, what? What to the verb. What did the teacher give? Sweets. Right? The immediate answer is sweets. When we put a question to the verb, then the answer would be the direct object. What did the teacher give? The teacher gave sweets. Sweets becomes the direct object. Similarly, to whom? Okay, when we ask question to whom did the teacher give or for whom? Then that becomes the indirect object. So we can find out the direct object by putting a question to the verb like what? What did the teacher give or what did the teacher say? Right? When we put a question to the verb, the answer would be the direct object. For whom, when we talk about for whom, that becomes the indirect object. Now just see here, the verb takes two objects, that is sweets and the children. The noun answering what after the verb is the direct object. The noun answering what? What did the teacher give? Sweets. That becomes the direct object. The noun naming the person for whom something is done, for whom it is done, or for who, then that is called as indirect object. Now, when we see the sentence only, the teacher gave. What did the teacher give? Sweets. Sweets becomes the direct object. For whom did the teacher give? To the children. The children become the indirect object. Right? So let's move further. Now, here we have some examples here. Okay. Circle the direct objects and underline the indirect objects if any in the following sentences. Now, I bought a cycle for my brother. Now, the question you need to put what to the noun or what to the subject. What did I bring? Cycle. Cycle becomes the direct object. For whom? My brother. My brother becomes the indirect object. The teacher told them a story. Now here, what did the teacher tell? The question to the noun or the subject. What did the teacher tell? Story. Story becomes the direct object. The story is told to whom? To them. Them becomes the indirect object. Now please buy me a school bag. Here you is ignored because it is an imperative sentence which is making a request. You please buy me a bag. What should I buy? Bag. Bag becomes the direct object. For whom? For me. That becomes the indirect object. So when you want to find out a direct object, you need to ask question like what. Okay, what must be asked to the noun. Then you will get the direct object. For whom? Then you will get the indirect object. Let's see the fourth sentence. She gave a good advice. What did she give? Advice. Advice is the direct object. For whom? It's not mentioned. Obviously, it will be me or for anyone else. She gave him a gift. What did she give? Gift. For whom did she give? For him. That becomes the indirect object. Likewise, you can see the remaining sentences. Okay? Now, just remember this particular rate. Ask what after the verb for the direct object. Ask what after the verb for the direct object and ask for, from, or to whom for the indirect object. When you ask what after the verb, immediately the answer is the direct object. When you ask for whom or from whom or to whom, then that will be the indirect object. Now, what is complement? Complement is used as an extra thing when there is no definite object. When there is no definite object. When the verb in the predicate is intransitive. Intransitive means the action of the verb will not be carried to the object. I mean the object will not receive the action. For example, he sings. Okay, he is the subject, sings is the verb. He sings what? It is not mentioned. For example, if you say he sings song, what does he sing? Song. Song is the object. But if I say he sings well, what does he sing? Well cannot be sing. Well is a complement or added something to make it meaningful. So it's an additional word to complete the meaning. The word or group of words required to complete the predicate, they will be termed as complement. Now the baby was good. Now here we are talking about the baby. Was is the helping verb. Now good becomes the complement. Okay, good is not a verb and good is not a object. It is not receiving the action, but it is making the sentence meaningful. Similarly, people are in the office. We are talking about people is the subject, are is the helping verb, and they are in the office. That will become the complement. Now, intransitive verbs are those verbs which do not have a object. Okay, she cleaned the floor neatly. She cleaned the floor neatly. Now, when you talk about she cleaned the floor, what did she clean? Floor. But if I say she cleaned neatly, floor is missing there. She cleaned neatly. Now, neatly is the complement. How she has done the action we are telling. But what action she has done? Who is receiving the action? We have not mentioned. So, in intransitive verbs, we will not be having a object. Right? Now, circle the complement in if any, in the following sentences. Now, Julie acted well. Okay, Julie acted a movie. A movie is acted by Julie, but movie is not mentioned. How did she act is mentioned. So, well becomes the complement. The man seems tired. Okay, action is not passing to the object. In fact, there is no object. So, this is a complement. Mrs. Sharma is very ill. We are talking about Sharma who is not at all, who is ill. So, that's a compliment. She looks beautiful in her blue dress. Here nobody is receiving the action, so beautiful becomes the complement. We will sing a song. Now we will sing a song. Now this is having a direct object. What do? We will sing. Now this is the direct object. Here there is no complement. Rama is a polite child. What kind of child is he? Polite child. But are we mentioning any action? And is the action received by the object? It is not received. The police caught the thief. Now this is the direct object. What did the police catch? They caught the thief. That's the direct object. So when we put what to the verb, the immediate answer will be the object. For whom, okay, then it will be indirect object. In certain cases, if the verb is intransitive, I mean if the action of the verb is not passed to the object, then that is called as intransitive verb. So to complete the intransitive verb, we will be using a complement. Now if you see this particular thing, my mother sings. My mother sings well. Okay, my mother sings a song, then the song is receiving the action of singing. But here, my mother sings. How she sings? Well. So well becomes the complement or the adverb. Now he caught the ball. This is the object. What did he catch? The ball, or the ball is caught by him. Now they are singers. It's a compliment. They are singers. They are teachers. Okay, we are students. But are we doing any action there? We are not doing any action. If we do the action and if the object receives the action, then that is transitive. If no action is done, then that is intransitive. Intransitive must have a complement. Okay, so before I wind up, just a reminder. Okay, what is object? How can we find out object? We need to put a question what to the noun. What did you do? Like write. Write is a direct object. Then we put for whom it is given, or for who. Then the indirect object will be coming. So this is today's class. We have discussed about what is direct object and what is indirect object and what is complement. Thank you for watching. Have a